Hi everyone, in this video we're going to be taking a look at the handwritten notes that we're going to be completing in the course this semester. So let's begin by navigating to our modules page here and we'll scroll down to chapter 1, for example. And you'll notice there's an item here, chapter 1 notes, and you'll see something similar throughout the other chapters as I prepare the future content and make that available. But for now, here you can see chapter 1. And so you'll be able to open up this link here, and it's got some information for you. So as it mentions here, a printed copy of the notes has been provided to you in class for you to complete. But if you would like to print a copy for yourself, please see the following link. So here I need to differentiate between the hybrid and the online class. Accounting 20 has both a hybrid and an online format. So for hybrid classes where we do have an in-class session, this information is pertinent. I will bring printed copies of these notes to pass out to you all. But if you are taking the online class, you will need to print these out for yourself. So hopefully that's not an issue. If you have any specific issues about that with trying to print or anything, just reach out to me and let me know. We do have printing resources at a lot of the locations, at Butte College, so on and so forth. But really the idea is just to handwrite the notes. So that's why you'd need to print them out and then do that part of it. The handwriting engages your brain a little more. And honestly, it makes it a little bit less susceptible to just using an AI tool to really quickly pump those out. So not that I think anyone would do that necessarily, but I just want to have a little bit of more of a incentive / requirement to take your time with the notes and really, consider the topics, etc. So as I mentioned, you'll click here on this link. It'll open up a PDF of those notes. And then you should be able to complete the notes really just by watching the lecture videos and doing some of the readings if you need to. As I mentioned in other communications, the textbook is optional this semester for the course. So if you need to access that free open source resource that I provided in our textbook link and you're trying to answer a question, you can go into there. I think you could search through that textbook possibly to find information. If you have purchased the textbook that the course was designed around, then, obviously you can read into that to get some of the information. Failing those two options, feel free to do internet searches and things like that. There's lots of resources out there to answer these questions as you go, but you should be able to answer them from watching the lecture videos, essentially. And if you do have any recurring questions or lingering questions, at that point, feel free to send me a message and I can kind of help you work through some of those. So that's basically the process. So like I said, for our hybrid classes, my intention is to actually bring a printed packet of the notes for you. For my online classes, you'll just need to download these and print yourself. But also for the hybrid class where we are in person, if you didn't come to class that day or if you lose a copy that I gave you, whatever it is, just know that there is an accessible PDF option for the notes for every chapter. So you could just print those out yourself, essentially. And then let's just look real quick at after you do, handwrite all the note answers. Then you would just go down here to our uploads section. And basically, we'll be doing a lot of uploads of things digitally in this class. You will complete assignments by hand at times, like these handwritten notes, essentially. But once you have that printed, paper copy of the notes, you complete them by hand. Then you can take a picture of them or a scan or something if that works easier for you. But a picture is totally fine. I know a lot of people, have smartphones, obviously, these days, iPad, whatever you can use to take pictures is totally fine. It doesn't need to be anything super fancy. What I really recommend is that you download the Canvas app. And the actual Canvas app, when you go into our course and go to this uploads section, you click on the chapter 1 handwritten notes. it has an option for you to take a picture directly from your device at that point, and then it actually has like a scan feature as well, which scan is nice because it takes pictures of each page individually, and then you kind of turn the pages as you go, and it just sort of takes all three of the pictures together, aggregates them. You can send those, and alternatively you can just take individual pictures too. So the app makes it really nice for doing this kind of digital uploads. So hopefully that makes sense. Reach out if y'all are having any technical issues. I'll kind of show you here what it looks like if I view as a student. So I would be going down here, handwritten notes for my uploads. And then you kind of get this sort of screen. Like I said, if you do this on your phone, it's actually really beneficial for taking pictures, of your assignments, because your phone has a camera on it a lot of the time, obviously, or an iPad or any other, kind of technology, maybe computer even would work. But if you did scan it or have it somewhere else on a computer like this, then you can just drag the file on here and do it that way. And so once you do these uploads, those then will go directly to your assignment list, your grade book, basically, in Canvas, and it shows up on my end ready for grading, and then I can just grade it really quickly. And you'll see your grade populated. And the nice thing about doing all of this digitally is that it retains, the assignment there in Canvas, a digital, photo of it. So there's no risk of, an assignment getting lost or anything like that. And if you have questions in the future with grading, or if you just want to revisit that assignment, those are always available for you. So that's why I really push for the digital. It's a nice feat. It's nice to get away from paper management of documents and things like that, with the exception that, doing some of this handwriting it does have some specific benefits, especially nowadays. And it really just allows us to better connect the information too. If you kind of slow down, think about the question, and have to handwrite it out. If you, one question maybe I'll just get in front of, because I have had students, let me open up the notes just so y'all can look at it too. I think it will just open for me. Yeah, okay, so the actual printed download and printing you kind of have to do separately, but you can see what the notes look like here. And so, there's a decent amount of space here, but, and I don't want a huge, not that I don't want, but I don't expect a huge explanation necessarily that would go beyond the scope of what these boxes have. But at the same time, I have had students who would rather just do the notes on a separate piece of paper. I'm totally fine with that. Any way you want to document this is great. I just provide this for you to have a spot to write on simply. So, if you want to expand, feel free to, like I said, write on a separate piece of paper or something like that if you want. But I don't really expect these the responses to be significant. They're just quick notes. It's really just notes for your benefit to understand the key topics on a given chapter. So, like 3 pages in chapter 1. This is kind of pretty typical of what you'll see throughout the course. So. All right, well, hopefully that helps you better understand our handwritten notes for the course. Like I mentioned, minor differences between the hybrid and the online class, where hybrid will be provided in paper in class. Online, you'll need to print the copy for yourself. But in all other respects, they'll basically be identical, and you'll do the uploads digitally, like we just talked about. So, all right, everybody, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully that's helpful, and reach out if you have any further questions. Thanks.